Philadelphia moves to 2-1. Jason, clearly this is a team and a town that you've got your finger on the pulse of. Trying to flush Monday, beat a 2-0 team. They did it. And wrapping this all up into some probably coherent thoughts, if possible.
Yeah.
How do you make it make sense this week that they've just had?
Well, obviously last week the defense struggled big time to stop the run. And this past game yesterday, they were phenomenal. I mean, the defense showed up, and they answered.
Get hype about stopping it. Like
I am. Listen, the same amount of hype I was for Baltimore running on the Cowboys. Jalen Carter and all of them guys on the Eagles defense showed up. They were in base more this game. They were seeing a lot more 12 and 21 personnel, and you could see how much more comfortable they were. They just played fantastic, and they were put in a lot of precarious situations by the offense. And I think it's still a sloppy game. They still got to clean up a lot of things. There's turnovers, some of the decisions made caused this to be close. I mean, they were at over 300 yards of total offense and not a point at one point in this game. And
we were allowed to kick field goals.
The defense
kick field goals.
The defense kept them in it, and at the end of the day, they got it going in the second half. I'd love to see them involve Saquon Barkley a little bit more early on. It took them to the halftime to really start handing off to the bell cow.
Yeah.
But I mean, they got the dub.
The statistical difference was amazing, just especially given how the Saints offense had been cooking. It was like more than 2-1 in terms of, I believe the Saints had scored touchdowns in 6 straight possessions against Dallas, all due respect. They only had 12 first downs in this game against Philadelphia. And given all the conversation about what could have been, they could have been 2-0 if Saquon squeezed it. He didn't.
Yeah.
To get this win against that team, I have to believe for that room, given the way the last year ended, I don't know how you overstate the importance of it.
Absolutely. I mean, these guys are fighting right now. They're fighting like hell for each other. I think that you look at that defense, especially with the way last season ended, the way the last game went, where they just basically had mid-zone run down their throat from under center with the Atlanta Falcons.
Yeah.
To go back and play like that, I mean, Jalen, and this is what I love. Jalen Carter in the media that week said, I played like trash, right? And I love seeing that because he knows he needs to play better. And when somebody admits that very much to the camera, that lets me know this dude knows he's better than that. He's confident. And he went out there and he reached complete.
Yeah, he
really did.
Yeah.
I mean, he was unblockable.
Those are 2 good football teams, yes?
Yeah.
You buy the Saints?
Yeah.
Yeah. Look what they did the first 2 weeks.
I buy the Saints.
They were the number 1 offense before last week.
Well, but the Panthers weren't great, and Dallas were saying it isn't very good.
Stop making good points, Scott. This is a big win for the Eagles.
I think I do, and to talk about the Eagles in general, though, when you mentioned the locker room, Scott, think about where this team was. This team was being questioned. Their coaches were being questioned, right, about the decision making. Their quarterback was being questioned. Their big free agent acquisition at the running back position was being questioned.
Right.
And all of those people showed up this week. And I get it. You can look at some of the decisions by Nick Sirianni on 4th down, and you can say kick the ball. But what I love is, like, if I'm going to lose, right, if people are going to start doubting me, I want to do that aggressively. And then in the second half, to see Saquon Barkley start to get the football and to produce in the way that he did, I think it says a lot about this locker room. Its head coach, its quarterback, its defense, and its new star receiver when you think about what was out at the skill position receiver-wise.
All right, so the Eagles bounced back after what was a really difficult loss to Atlanta, where, frankly, there's a lot of attention, the center of attention, you might say. What happened about 3 hours before kickoff.
Scott Van Pelt.
That was TV.
Gentlemen,
My goodness.
Jason Kelce.
Oh, yeah.
On stage, it was Jason's moves that got all the attention.
Step aside, Elaine Bennett.
I keep watching it and I keep crying laughing.
Do you know how devastating it is to open X and just see a bunch of people quoting tweets of you dancing and putting clown emojis above you?
No, I wish I would have stuck around and gone to that.
He's doing it better than I would if I tried to do it.
The running man looks like, when they put shoes on a dog for the first time.
Stop showing this.
Shoes on a dog is exactly what it was.
What got into you?
Shoes on an eagle.
What got into me?
Yeah.
To be honest, what happened is I went over there 30 minutes before I was supposed to. And I'm up on stage in front of thousands of people. I'm like, I don't know what the heck I'm supposed to do.
Yeah.
And then that music started playing, and it just took over. Sometimes you let the music take the body where it needs to go.
You had 18 more games in you based on that.
Listen, I could go out, give one maybe, but my knees were a little sore.
Hey, speaking of knees, good news. The guy that you chest bumped, our guy Dumpf with all the tattoos, we thought he blew his ACL.
He's good.
He didn't blow the ACL.
Well, he's still.
It's not great.
He's lame, but he is no surgery required, which is a plus.
He adds a legendary chapter to his Philadelphia fandom.